Hi guys, my name is Alyssa Harris, and today I'm doing a few videos on interracial dating and relationships, marriages. Um, this is a video I've wanted to do for a while. I've been with my husband for 15 years. We started dating when we were 14, and he is African American and Native American. So I had waited so long because I had wanted to do this video with him so he could express his point of view, but I'm guessing he's camera shy because he says no every time I ask him. So I'm going to do this video by myself. So this video, I'm going to answer some of the questions I've looked up online that I've looked up the most annoying questions you ask people in interracial relationships, or that people ask people, and I've picked out about 8 that I think apply to mine because every relationship's different. So I've picked out 8 that I've heard a lot that kind of get annoying. Some of them are just average questions, so let's go through this. Okay, number 1, how did you meet? Me and my husband met at school. I was in high school. It was his first year at my school. We were in this city where there wasn't many African American men, like women, anyone of color. It was mostly white, and like I had a few friends like over the years, like of different races, but like never dated anybody, never met anyone I had wanted to date. So my first year in high school, he had started at my school, and like we didn't immediately hit it off. Like he was just a goofball and not in any of my classes. And I think our second semester, like he had got some classes with me, and I think I caught his eye first because then like he just started like playing around and joking with me all the time and kind of just winning me over from there. I had never really considered his race an issue when I started dating him. Like, yeah, it was different, but I had never been brought up to think like, oh, that was wrong. There were people in my family that didn't agree with it, but I guess growing up in an all-white community, like, it's nothing they had thought to mention to me. Like, hey, like, we don't want you doing this. So, like, I was raised thinking it was fine. Later on, it became a family issue, but it was too late. Like, I fell in love with him, and what they thought didn't matter to me at that point. I was like, you either support me or we're just over it. Okay, so moving on. Question number 2. Where, oh, how did you meet? Okay, so I kind of covered that. How we met. Like, we were in school, and like, first he started like, I don't know, joking with me in class, and then like he'd follow me out to the lunchroom, and I sat by myself a lot. Like, not that I was like a loner or anything, but like, I don't know, I just liked being alone. I had lots of friends. Like, I was friends with every clique, but like at lunchtime, like I think I'd like to take naps on the lunch table. Like, just leave me alone. And he saw me, and he'd come sit next to me and start joking, and just went from there. Eventually he started walking me home, and it grew. Like, it grew over the years, and like as soon as we both knew like we were interested, like we were never separate. Like, we were always together, like every day, all day. Okay, number 3 that I wrote down was your family mad when you started dating? My mom, like, I grew up living with my mom. Like, she was 100% supportive. Like, never an issue with her. It was the older generation, like grandparents, great uncles, great aunts. They really frowned upon it. Like, not really on my mom's side that much, but like a lot on my dad's side because they all came from Tennessee, and they were really pissed. They refused to talk to me or come see me. I had my grandma tell me she was not going to come to my graduation because I was dating a black man. So, like, they're not a part of my life anymore. Like, I started dating them when I was 14, and they haven't talked to me since. It's been 15 years. Like, they just kind of, like, excused themselves from my life, and I never never really fought to keep them because, like, they didn't accept me and who I loved. Like, it wasn't just some guy I was dating. Like, I fell in love with this man, had a family with him. Like, it was real. And they never accepted that. So I gave up on them. Okay, number 4. Have you, this is annoying. Like, other people always ask me, have you always been into, insert race here, black men? Um, no, like, I don't know. Yes, no. Like, it's not a race thing. Like, when I started dating, like, when I got to the age when I could start dating, like, it was never about skin color. Like, oh, I like white men, or I like black men, or Spanish men. Like, nothing like that. It was, oh, I like John, or Josh, or Scott, or it's the person. Like, I'm attracted to the person. It's not like I'm not attracted to all black men. Like, women kind of assume that. Like, some men think that. They see me and my husband and think, like, oh, she likes all black men. Like, no, like, I like my husband, Tavon. Like, I'm in love with him. I'm attracted to him and his personality. And white men think I completely, like, gave up on them. I'm like, I just didn't fall in love with any of you. It's not that I'm not attracted to you. I'm just not into any of you. Like, your personalities. Like, I didn't meet anybody that I had chemistry with. It's people in my, like, situation, like, understand. Okay, so number 5. Are the stereotypes true? When people ask me this, like, immediately, like, I know they're asking, is he hung like a horse? This is, like, the dumbest question I get asked. And depending on who's asking me, my answer differs. Like, if it's a pretty woman that asks, I'm like, oh no, it's not true. He's packing 4 inches, but I'm in love with him. If it's an ugly chick that asks, or someone who's not attractive, I'm like, oh, he's like 8 inches. He's huge. Like, I brag for him. But really, like, that's my husband. Like, I'm not gonna tell anybody how big he really is. So if you ask me, I'm just gonna fuck with you, for real. Like, you're not gonna get a real answer out of me. I can't answer a stereotype question based on the one man that I've been with for 15 years. Like, I didn't date the entire African American community. I don't know how it is for everybody. So, yeah, like, it's my husband. Like, his genitals are nobody's business except for mine and his, and maybe the doctor. Okay. Number 6 is, why not date in your own race? When we first started dating, a lot of white men got really, really offended by the fact that I started dating my husband. And they all asked me the same thing. Like, what, white men are not good enough for you? And that's not a factor. That's never been a factor. It's just, like I said, like, I'm in love with Tavon. Like, it's not that Scott and Steve and whoever is not good enough for me. It's that I'm not in love with them. Like, I didn't have chemistry with them. So, yeah, like, it's not that nobody else was good enough for me. I just didn't fall in love with anybody else. Okay, so number 6 that I wrote down is, oh, people ask me this. Can you hook me up with, insert your partner's race here. So women ask me, can you hook me up with a black man? Like, I could, but I won't. When people ask me this, like, no, like, I'm not feeding into your fetish. Like, this is obviously, like, a fetish type thing. Like, you're just seeking out specifically a black man. I don't do that. Like, if I'm gonna hook you up, it's gonna be me coming to you because, like, I know somebody that I think that you might fall in love with, like, have a real relationship with. I'm not gonna play into your, like, whole, like, venture to, like, figure out the stereotype for yourself. Like, that is offensive to me. So, no, like, I'm not gonna start tossing men at you for you to just, like, F through all of them. So, no, like, I'm not gonna hook nobody up with any black men that I know. But if I find a man that I think that you might fall in love with or hit it off with, I'll throw him your way. Like, you won't have to ask me. I'll just call you up one day. Okay, so number 7, the last question that I wrote down that I had seen is, what will your kids identify as? Some people get really offended, like, oh, you would date, it's gonna be horrible for your children. Like, what are they gonna identify as? They're not gonna fit in anywhere. And to me, I'm like, my kids fit in everywhere. Like, they're part Caucasian, part African American, part Native American. Like me, I'm Caucasian and Native American. My husband's African American and Native American. Like, my children are all of those. And when we raised our kids are 5 and 6 right now. They don't see color. Like, that's not something that we put into our everyday lives. Um, they're Gavin and Dante. Like, and they have their own little personalities. They like video games. If I ask them, what color am I? They tell me I'm pink. What color is Dad? Dad is chocolate. What color is Gavin? Gavin's brown, and Dante, I think they say Dante's orange. So my kids, they don't see that kind of stuff, and I try to like any mom, I shelter them from that. Like, I don't want them to see the hatred or experience it. I explain to them there are mean people in this world, so yeah, like, they know that there's gonna be people that might bully them someday, and I prepare them for that. But like, I don't tell them about race and race issues, and like, I teach them to love themselves and everybody around them. I don't want them growing up like thinking this world is divided. Like, I guess right now it is, like, people act like it, but that's not the world that I want for my children. I want them to see unity in everyone, and it's okay that everyone's unique in their own way. I want my kids to accept that and love that about people, because that uniqueness is beautiful. Like, so that's how we raise our kids. They don't identify as just black or just white. They see themselves as Gavin and Dante, and they live in a world full of people, like, of different colors, races, religions, whatever. And I'd like to keep it that way. Like, I'm hoping to find, like, the best city to raise them in, so that, like, I can instill that as much as possible, and then hopefully by the time they're 13, when it really starts hitting home, like, they're already open-minded enough to see the world how I want them to see it, how I see it. Like, it's just people everywhere, unique people. That is all my questions for this video. I am gonna post a follow-up video today. Like, I have some time today, so I'm gonna try to get some multiple videos out. The next video I'm gonna do is my worst experiences being in an interracial relationship. Times like I went out and like been judged the most or mistreated the most. Things like that. So it's more like a story time. So you can look at that next if you liked this video. Yeah. Thank you for watching, everyone.